Hello and welcome to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Toyota Crown. Welcome back, and of course if you're into car brochures, please do subscribe. There'll be something here for you for sure, and of course it really helps the channel when you subscribe. Anyway, back to today's episode, the Toyota Crown. The Crown name is an old one, going back to Japan till I think around about 1955, so it's a well-used nameplate. Today's episode, this brochure is from 1982, which by my reckonings makes this the refreshed 6th generation Crown. The 80s was a real important time for Toyota. They were really starting to shake things up. These sorts of cars were very much front-engined, rear-wheel drive, very traditional looking saloons. The Toyota Camry wasn't far off, and that was a front-wheel drive. So in preparation for that, they had to kind of like change things around a bit. So cars like the Corona and Cressida, they were kind of like phased out in, I think, 1981 and I think 1984 in preparation for all this, which left this big luxury saloon, the Toyota Crown, and its days were numbered. Arriving in 1982 in the UK as a facelift, it only lasted till 1984, and I haven't really seen any official figures for the UK, but I think they only sold around about 500 units. But how were these qualities of this big flagship Toyota really shown to potential customers? Well, that's where today's brochure comes in. So there we go, the UK brochure for the Toyota Crown. Like I said, 1982, this one's dated. You can tell this is the refreshed version because of these headlamps. The early ones kind of like a split headlight in them rather than these big single units. And what a square, boxy design it was. And you're thinking 1982, cars are getting a little bit more curvy by this time, so certainly a very traditionally styled automobile. And remember, this is the flagship of the Toyota range, so it's a little bit special, and you can see straight away with this particular brochure that it was presented as being something a little bit special, something a bit more luxurious, by the simple thing it's even got its own little folder for the car. So we'll take that out and we'll look at the brochure proper, and here you go, the new Crown Super Saloon. Yeah, Super Saloon it's calling it. You know, really expressing this is a really important car. As we open the brochure up, it gives us various images of the Crown and this very sort of 80s interior that, you know, a lot of people would have been quite familiar at, although you do notice how much equipment this is for 1982, when, you know, 1982 kind of like we're more used to very basic cars. 70s themselves, you'd be lucky if you got a clock in them. We're now into 80s, but even so, it's a very high spec vehicle. But anyway, let's have a look at some of this text and see how it's trying to persuade you to buy this car. So it says here, the surge of smooth power to melt away motorway miles, the quiet confidence of gleaming instruments shining out on a frosty night, and feather-light fingertip controls for everything from electronically controlled door mirrors to the 4-speaker auto-reverse stereo radio cassette system with its automatic station search and memory. It really throws it straight out there. All keep on reading because wow, this is an amazing car. The new Toyota Crown Super Saloon is unashamedly luxurious and superbly equipped to satisfy the most discerning motorists. Its standards of comfort and refinement reflect a successful lifestyle. But make no mistake, behind the relaxed and effortless sophistication lies a stamina of performance few can equal and none can match where sheer value for money is concerned. The key to the Crown is the way in which every aspect of motoring comfort has been extensively assessed and analysed before Toyota expertise were brought to bear on solutions. Wherever practical, solid-state technology has been used to lighten the mechanical load, hence the fully electronic fuel injection and ignition systems, and to provide the essential control functions for a whole range of invaluable aids to more relaxed driving. It goes on to sort of mention some of those equipment that it's got on there. So it's saying individual reading lamps, adjustable head restraints, electronically operated windows, front and rear, stereo and air conditioning controls are all unmistakably reminders that the Crown is designed for its passengers as well as its driver. The result is a superb 2.8 litre fuel injected saloon fitted with 3-speed plus overdrive automatic transmission, designed for fast, luxurious and comfortable motoring. It goes on to say beautifully attractive upholstery in warm and luxurious thick fabric, deep cut pile carpeting and an outstandingly inviting soft and quiet interior filled with thoughtful detail for the comfort of driver and passengers. And you can choose your seating position from an endless variety of settings. For the Crown Super Saloon has no less than 5 important adjustment features for the driving seat alone, allowing legroom, seat height, lumbar support, seat angle and even head restraint alignment to be chosen for total individual comfort. Steering rake angle 2 can also be instantly adjusted by a simple control on the column itself, which contributes to a perfect driving position. Let's now take a detailed look at all these valuable innovations for safe and relaxed motoring that Crown owners prize so highly. So straight away, it goes into great detail, doesn't it, of what an amazing car this was, what amazing features that we'd be more than happy to have on today's cars, let alone in 1982. So this really was Toyota's flagship model. And I kind of see here, it's even showing your chauffeur to arrive to pick you up in your Crown. And as we turn the page, we get sort of more images of the Toyota Crown, and you can almost think, did people want such a boxy car in the 80s? Maybe that's what put people off. Maybe they was looking for a few more curves. And certainly cars like this Sierra certainly gave people that. But I think there were a lot of more traditional buyers in the 80s as well that wanted a more traditional looking car. So again, I'm surprised they didn't sell more. As you can see, it's a very wordy text on this particular brochure, so we're not going to read it all, but we will pick out some key points starting over here, although it actually opens up so we get more detail here, but we'll just have a quick read of this text here. On the top here it says top international luxury and performance at a value for money price that's simply unbeatable. With its level of standard equipment and accessories, the new elegantly styled Toyota Crown Super Saloon has an appeal that sets it beyond the reach of virtually any other car on the road today. You've found out the facts, now let's take a test drive to convince you. Well, unfortunately, we don't have a test drive, but let's have a look at some more of those features. And here we have the specifications. So it's a 6-cylinder engine, so a 6-cylinder water-cooled petrol single overhead cam. It's a 2.8, or to be more precise, a 2759cc engine. The gearbox being a 3-speed plus that overdrive. Maximum speed 114 miles per hour, 0 to 60 in 9.6 seconds. Doesn't sound a lot today, but for a big car that was quite respectable in 1982. Fuel economy, constant 56 it's still showing we're getting 30 miles per gallon, which really wasn't bad at all. And then we get some little images, that 2.8 litre engine, air conditioning cool box, map reading lights, that adjustable head restraints, what it refers to as an econometer and a quartz clock. Like I said, some cars weren't even getting quartz clocks at this time, and here it's got this very unusual econometer showing how much miles per gallon you was receiving as it went. So, you know, we see them in today's cars all electronic, but this is kind of like a little gauge on there, which was very unusual for the time. A stereo radio cassette player, remote door mirror and controls, these quite nice alloy wheels with that little crown badge in the centre. This auto gearbox or gear lever with the overdrive switch to get your equivalent of a fourth gear, if you will. And then further down we've got this master control console, so your electric windows, your rear radio air condition control. So that's a very fancy feature, isn't it? Really showing that it is a luxury car, and almost like a car that could be used to chauffeur people around with that luxury in the back as well. And an idea what that rear lamps are and that Super Saloon 2.8 litre badge. At the top of the next page, it gives us some equipment levels. We really don't have time to go through every little bit of equipment that this car had, but certainly you can pause this screen anytime if you do want to read the full text. And over the side we've got tank capacities, dimensions and weights. Little diagrams showing how big the car itself was. Brief facts about Toyota service. And then finally, if we go to the back page, a nice little image of the rear of the Crown with the typical, you know, if you're a luxury car buyer, you probably want to go a golfing image. And then this is where your dealer stamp would have been, and September 82 would have been the date of the brochure. So there we go, the Toyota Crown, this brochure from 1982, like we said. So let me know of you, if you've got any sort of memories of these Toyota Crowns. Like I said, this particular one, facelifted, only around for 2 years and didn't sell an awful lot, and I can't really remember too much about them in the 80s, but maybe you own one, maybe your family own one, maybe you got chauffeured around in your friend's one. Please let me know in the comments if that's the case. Are there any left in the UK? That's also an interesting question. If you know anything about that, please jot that down. But for now, we'll say thank you for watching. Please do subscribe and like this particular video, and we'll see you very soon. So take care and goodbye.